Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Jae Encarnacion, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're thrilled to have Maximilian Porter, the founder of Techify. Maximilian brings a unique blend of psychology expertise from the University of Utah and a passion for revolutionizing sales through AI automation. Based in Utah, Techify, founded to address broken lead follow-up processes, is empowering businesses to recover lost sales and engage leads 24/7 with tools like their database reactivation AI bot. We'll be exploring his founding story, how Techify is transforming sales processes, and his vision for scaling this innovative venture. So with that being said, let's dive right in. Maximilian, welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. A pleasure to have you on the show. I'm a huge AI advocate, so can't wait to really dive in with you here, Maximilian. So let's start at the top. For our listeners who are many founders and entrepreneurs and are heavily utilizing AI, so I know this is going to be great for them. So take us back to the beginning. What specific problem in the sales landscape really inspired you to start Techify?
Yeah, I graduated college. I immediately went and worked at a ranch. I was a ranch hand for the summer. Nothing to do with AI whatsoever. But I had a lot of time to think out there. And I was going to go and franchise a new physical therapy office for this company out in Utah, in Salt Lake and Park City. And decided, you know what, if I invest all my time and energy into something, my 2, 5, 10-year returns on that, I could do something greater here. And it was a solid opportunity, but I decided to leave. I shipped out to Salt Lake with basically no plan, just enough money for a few months of rent. And it's about a 7.5-hour drive from home over there.
Wow.
And just sat in the car in silence. I said, all right, Maxi P, we're going to figure something out right now. So I think they call it raw dogging the drive. So went out in silence, let my thoughts race. I have an older brother. He's a genius. And we've been having a lot of talks about AI. And I was like, there's got to be something, something that can be automated that businesses can use that will pay me to use AI for. So started to do the deep dive, started to look into sales processes, into marketing. There's a lot of guys from Utah, they do solar sales.
Yep.
So summer sales, pest control, and they'd come back with a bunch of cash in their pocket for the school year. I was like, geez, so I started looking into that. And so they're all going door to door. And I was like, there's got to be a way that's all manual. What are other people doing? And granted, I had zero idea about anything in this whole space. Marketing, sales, not my thing at the time. And started looking into these processes and started finding out what people were paying for marketing. And discovered that people are paying for marketing. They're generating all these leads, but they're lucky to even speak to half of them.
Yeah.
So I started asking why, and turns out a lot of people just don't answer the phone anymore. So built the system using behavioral psychology in the AI to mimic a human being, to text all of those people after 48 hours. Ideally, their sales team will call them a few times, some points of contact, whatever it is. But people's sales teams, they don't. And if they call someone a couple times, they don't answer, they toss them in the grave. Cost doing business, and they focus on the fresh leads that are answering the phone, as they should. But there's a gold mine of revenue there that these businesses are paying for that can capture new revenue. So that was the whole. And the more industries I look into, the more people have the same problem. The speed to lead issue is another issue that I've solved. So yeah, that's the short gist.
Love it. I love it. So with that, I definitely want to get into the nuts and bolts. We're going to have a lot of listeners here, Maximilian, that are most likely going to need services like this and are losing out revenue and are leaving money on the table. So really walk us through how Techify is generating revenue today. What is the core offer here? Who is your ICP? Who do you like to work with best? And how do you structure it for your clients when they're with you?
Sure. So I'll run through an example. Let's say that you're a roofing company, and just for the sake of example, you're a roofing company. You do marketing, you pay for leads, pay for marketing for the sole purpose to get leads in. Now, you'll be lucky to speak to 50% of those leads. So let's say that 50% of those go into the dead lead pile, quote, dead lead pile. Those are leads that were paid for, leads that were interested enough that needed your service, interested enough to input their information onto your website, whatever it is, to get the service that you provide. So this person needs a roof. They went to you to put out their information, but they just never picked up the phone. Now people are stressed, sick, tired, grandma died, they get spam calls, whatever reason that somebody didn't answer the phone within that 48-hour period, there's still a significant amount of those people that still want the service. So we take that 50%, give the fresh to your sales team. Those are your people. They deserve the hottest leads. But the ones that you're going to throw away, let us pick up the scraps. Let us generate revenue from the trash. Instead of throwing this money away as a cost of doing business, let's generate some revenue from it. So we install our AI system, and it reaches out and it says, hey, this is Mike from roofing company. Is this the same Tom who reached out about a roof? Says yes. Has a very natural conversation. The AI it's meant to mimic a human being, an employee of the roofing company. So it's not meant to be detected as AI, and it's very good at conversating. It's sales trained, it handles objections, and it has an objective in mind. So if that objective in mind is a callback, it diverts them into that, knows everything about the company, everything there is to know, answers any questions, whatever, and then gets them into a book call for the sales team to then close. And then I take a percent of that. So it's strictly pay per performance.
Amazing. Amazing on that front. So walk us through then what you're really looking at as far as, is that your main driver? Is that kind of the main piece there? So it sounds like it's a voice AI agent for the businesses there. And what businesses work best with what you've seen so far since you started?
So it's not voice AI, it's all via text.
All via text.
That's where the magic is. It's 90% open rate on text, emails 20, people aren't answering the phone. So the magic is in that SMS. And the ideal customer profile, I've been struggling to find an industry that it doesn't work for. Gotcha. That's the beauty of it. But ideally, I'm looking for people that have a lot of leads coming in, can close them, are high ticket and high margin. Those are the best. Roofers are great. Solar is great. Home service is great. There's mortgages, loans, debt consolidation, personal injury. I'm doing a deal right now with a big real estate firm for a leasing agent AI with all their leads coming in, which I'm really excited about. That's a new vertical that I think has a lot of potential. So basically, really anybody and if anybody has a big database of leads that never converted, we can run a campaign, no problem.
Amazing. This is the beauty and why I love having you on the show right now, Maximilian, because again, having done so many podcasts, so many episodes, it's clear as day and it's evident that AI is here to stay, right? It is the future, and the advancements just every single day are incredible in what we're seeing. So to have you on the show, really talking through your mindset, just graduated college, what you're thinking of and how you're utilizing AI to really benefit businesses is incredible. So truly an honor, Maximilian, having you talk us through this so far. So I would love to hear from you now. What's working best for Techify on the acquisition side? How are you seeing the most success for new clients, consistent leads coming in for yourself, whether that's revenue, social media, ads, referrals? What does that look like?
So my initial search, my initial prospecting was my warm network, the people I know in my hometown, the people I met in college. I have a bazillion friends, and they've all got parents that do something. So I started there and looked through my friends and sent out a bunch of texts to see, just had a bunch of conversations with the people I know, and not to ask them to do any business, but just to run the idea past them. I know I'm fortunate enough to know some mentors that are highly successful, really smart guys. They've been huge. But other than my warm network, which everyone can do, yep, I've been primarily on LinkedIn and sending out personalized messages. And at first I was just sending mass volume negates luck, just sending out a bunch of texts as much as I can, a bunch of connections, just being a LinkedIn goon essentially. And as much as I didn't like it, I was like, hey dude, just stick to it. Just keep pumping out the numbers. It's going to work out. But what I found out through time that the best thing is when I diverted my energy towards one person and looked on LinkedIn and found the ideal person that I would love to work with. This guy's perfect. I love what he's about. I love his interests. I love his story, his resume. This is inspiring. This is really cool. And I love his company. And this would be great. Then I diverted all my energy into that one person or those 5 people and sent personalized texts and then set up a call, ran it by him. And I'd say, hey, XYZ. I love what you're doing here. I'm a young guy. I'm a young entrepreneur, an ambitious young man. I'm a founder of a tech startup, and I'd love to run the idea past you. No agenda beyond learning. Thank you for doing what you do and providing value. It's guys like you that inspire me to the next generation of entrepreneurs to get it done. And I found these guys that have done it, they want to help. They want to help young guys. They want to help young people, new ideas. So they're happy to hop on a call. And it's through those calls that I've just ran the idea past them, talked with them, asked them and about their story, made them feel important because they are. And then as soon as they like me, I tell them the idea. And then they'd say, hey, that's really smart. That's a great idea. You should talk to this person. I know this guy. So it's referrals through, I've gotten many opportunities just through those casual conversations. So that's been the big game changer for me instead of just sending out a bazillion texts.
Incredible. Incredible. So with that, obviously being that this is your first real year with the business and getting everything underway, what's your idea right now of scaling? Are you thinking about maybe getting some ads underway, thinking about building on the team? It sounds like you're a solopreneur right now, doing everything on your own. So how are you approaching the idea of scale? What does that look like in your mind right now?
So my idea for scale is to essentially, I've got a bunch of friends and know a bunch of people that are really smart and in their respective fields, guys in real estate, guys in mortgages, guys in X, Y, and Z. And their connections that they've made in the corporate space are extremely valuable. People that they've worked with previously that they can send, it's an easy foot in the door. It's hard to go. Originally, I was going into solar companies in Salt Lake with a marketing audit, a box of donuts, and a handwritten letter saying, hey, this is for Mike, the boss man, the head honcho. So this for Mike, I'd love to shake his hand. And that receptionist, as much flirting as I would do, that receptionist didn't want to, she's the gatekeeper, right? It was hard to get past. These guys have the connections in their corporate space. They have relationships with these people. So to get them to then say, hey, are you interested in this? Basically explain the whole idea to my guys, bring them on as partners, sales partners, and they go off in their respective fields, talk to their connections, and they're incentivized, obviously, and then come back. If we do a deal, everybody wins.
I love that. I love that. Are you starting to think about the idea of ads and getting your Techify out there more? Where are you on that side of things when it comes to really getting your brand out and pushing your name out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am interested. Definitely. It'd be great to have a calendar full of calls I've been basically handpicking, reaching out to people and handpicking who I'd like to work with. It'd be great to hop on calls and then run through the questionnaire process for people that came to me. That'd be best case scenario, right?
I love it. So what would you point to as a bottleneck that you're thinking about on that side? Would it be that quality lead generation side of things or converting those leads? What would you point to as your bottleneck right now that you're really looking to solve?
Yeah, I think the quality of leads, I think that's a big one. If somebody has a real understanding of what I'm looking for, then I think it could be really beneficial. I've got a handful of deals in progress right now that I'm diverting all my energy to do a really good job for them. But hey, as time goes on, the more deals, the better. And the more we grow, we need more people.
Absolutely love that. Talk to us about your vision then, Maximilian. Obviously, you're young, you're ambitious, you're hungry. What does the rest of 2025 look like going into 2026 for yourself, for Techify? Walk us through that plan. What are you laser focused on for that growth and that scale?
So I'd say a recent pivot of mine has been in this multifamily real estate space and created this AI leasing agent. And we're going to run a test trial for a big company in Utah, a name brand. And if it works well with them, they have relationships with all sorts of contractors and anybody in the construction space because they got to build these massive apartments. But I think that there's a lot of money in this real estate. And if I can really solve this problem like I know I can, then it's just a matter of going to the next guy, copy pasting, going to the next guy, building a system, saying, hey, we worked with this guy. This is our case study. For the real estate, as we both know, there's so much money there. And go down to LA, I want to be the guy bringing AI into the multifamily real estate space.
Absolutely incredible. And I think that's the beauty, right? And AI has opened up so many doors for us to have these types of businesses and these models and these ideas to come to fruition. So just amazing to see you taking the bull by the horns and running with it. So let's get a little hypothetical, if we can, Maximilian. If you were able to snap your fingers and have unlimited resources right now, what is something that you would be implementing immediately into Techify to accelerate its growth?
I'd probably implement just two to five killers out there to go out and make some sales, make some deals, make some partnerships.
I love that. And overall, when it comes to how you're picturing the industry as a whole and its evolution in the coming years, where do you see that? How do you see the AI automation industry evolving, especially with your psychology driven approach? And what are you really doing to position Techify on the forefront of that evolution?
AI it's ever changing, it's ever evolving. So I think staying on top of anything new is going to be our biggest challenge and most important thing to stay focused on. I love you developing the behavioral psychology and integrating that with the AI to make it as human-like as possible, making it the best salesman that it can possibly be. So I think diving into more research into human behavior and implementing that into AI and having the AI grow off that and take all known research that we know about humans and about the human brain and just making that as like the best it can be. Ideally, if it's pretty good right now, I'll say it is pretty dang good at mimicking a human being. But if it's flawless, and if there's voice AI that's flawless as well, then there's no need for a sales team. You know, it's if it's you have a full-time sales team that doesn't sleep, doesn't get tired, doesn't get stressed, doesn't mess up, and is perfect, and you don't know it's AI, then what's the point of paying 30% commission checks to these guys that aren't as good?
So with that right there, Maximilian, I want to take us into the lightning round just to close out the show for our listeners. It's been incredible hearing your thought process in your mind so far. I know you're going to be able to do some pretty amazing things in the space. So on that front, what's a tool or a resource that you're using right now, whether it's a psychological insight, an AI strategy, an AI tool, but what's really been the biggest game changer for Techify this far?
I would say using ChatGPT as a research tool for behavioral psychology.
Hmm.
I through my degree in psychology, you learn how to research and you learn good research from bad. And I've basically cut my time down by 90% on finding good research and implementing that into the AI. So that's been huge. It's like having a full-time scientist just right at your hip at whenever you want it.
Incredible. And then last, but certainly not least, what is a piece of advice? Obviously, someone that's so young, hungry, ambitious. What's a piece of advice that you can offer to our listeners right now who are also just starting out or in the middle of their careers and want to have that drive and ambition that you have? What can you give them before we wrap up the show?
I'd say it's intimidating at first, and you think of this big challenge. And then when I think further down the road, I get anxious and I'm like, man, I got so much stuff to do. And I feel like it's made up to be starting something by yourself. It's made up to be this big, giant monster that you have to tackle when really it's just enduring the small problems for a long period of time. So it's ask yourself, can I go one more day without quitting? Is this so unbearable that I can't go one more day? No, then just go one more day. Just go one more day, 1% better every single day. And all of a sudden things just pop up. Keep your mental on the best case scenario and how you want things to go in your life. If you could speak into existence, how would your life look? I'd say lock in that vision for yourself. Think about it every single day. Write it down at night. Write it down when you wake up in the morning. Be grateful for everything you have and keep striving. Know that you're going to do it. And things work out. Universe responds.
Absolutely incredible. With that right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. Maximilian, first and foremost, just want to thank you for coming on the show, sharing that incredible journey and your insights with us. And as I mentioned, clear as day with your passion, with your drive, your intelligence, you're going to do some incredible things in the space, and really excited to have you back on the show, maybe in another 6 months to a year, get some great updates because I know you're going to do some big things. So again, thank you so much. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, which I know so many of you have, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can also check out Techify Agency at techifyagency.io to learn more about their AI automation solutions, and follow Maximilian on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Maximilian Porter. And for more resources and insights, you can visit us here at closers.io, where we're dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth through trained appointment setters and world-class marketing systems. Until then, keep climbing, and we'll see you on the next one.